On a Sunday, you have come here. I thank you especially for that.
Still Saturday.
I'm still in India Saturday time. I will be speaking to you, of course, about the Ramasetu matter, but I'd like to place it in perspective. And that's why I will first make some introductory remarks to see the Ramasetu matter in perspective. I myself began being concerned about the problems of the Hindu society that Hindu society is facing really after the arrest of the Shankaracharya of Kanchi. And when I found that he had been sent to jail like a common criminal on a case which was totally manufactured. I mean, of course, somebody was murdered, there's no doubt, but the foisting of that case on the Shankaracharya meant that there were some forces working which wanted to undermine Hindu society, and by putting him in jail and treating him this way, they could create an atmosphere amongst Hindus to feel inferior, feel important, and that would lay the foundation for undermining the Hindu society in future. And when you look at other problems also, you find that the same way the Hindu society seems to be the target. If you look at terrorism today, you find that invariably the target is the Hindu. If the temples bombs are thrown in the temples, they're not thrown in churches and masjids. It's not true to say that the terrorists have no religion, have no address. They are just violent people because they have a method in their madness, and that method is to target the Hindu. When it comes to conversion, religious conversion, it's only the Hindu who's being converted. The target is again the Hindu community. Look at the history books, the distortions that are taking place, whether it's in this country or any other country. Again, you find it's the Hindu history which is distorted and written in a way which debases the Hindu society. So if you go all along in all these major problems that are facing the country, you find that the Hindus are essentially on what I call as the siege. They are being attacked from all sides, and it's clear that there is a major effort being made. Which are the forces which are at work and all, I'll come to a little later, but I think that's what I need to point out. Now many people say, how can Hindus be under siege? They are 83% of the population, and how can such a big majority be under siege? Well, numbers are not by themselves enough. If you have 1,000 goats standing in a forest, and one tiger comes, all the goats will run away just in front of one tiger. Nor is it the capacity, the strength. That again is not enough. I give the example of a circus. There will be one thin ringmaster, and there will be 5 fierce lions, and they will be in the ring, and the ringmaster will be totally within the ring. He cannot escape anywhere. And he will have only a whip, and he'll crack the whip and make the lion climb up a chair or climb up a bench and so on. The lion will make noises, but ultimately it will obey him. Each of those lions was strong enough with his paw to give one hit to the ringmaster, and he would die. But they don't, they all obey. So it's not, to say I'm strong as a lion, well, it depends on your mind. So ultimately it's the mindset that is important, and it's the Hindu mindset which I would like to focus on. And today the attack on Hindus is no more physical like Muhammad Ghodis or Ghazni or Robert Clive and so on. It's much more the mental subversion that is taking place, and that is what we have to be beware of. If you ask me why I've taken up this issue with such strength, because I think Ram Setu was another example of where the Hindu society was being targeted in a really subtle psychological way, and that is why I decided that it should be taken up. Now, when I say mindset, what I mean is that all of us think that we are very good Hindus because we go to temples, we do puja, we celebrate Diwali, and so we think that is what it means being a good Hindu. No, that's not enough. You, Hindu, must have a corporate psychology, a corporate mind. If 500,000 Hindus are driven out from Kashmir, your own country, and they are living in a refugee camp, it's called a refugee camp. Imagine Hindus being called, Indian citizens, Hindus being called refugees, and they are living in refugee camps in Delhi and in Jammu. And they've been living since 1989, and there's just no one seems to care. And that is the psychology I'm talking about. The whole of India should feel annoyed, upset, in a state of rebellion. That how can 500,000 people, Hindus, be driven out just because they are Hindus? And people worry about masjid being broken in one place, but every day temples are being broken in Kashmir, and there are other places too. And for example, if you take Malaysia, look what's happening to the Hindus there. What is happening in Guyana, what's happening in Kazakhstan. The Hindus are being systematically targeted, not only here but all over, because Hindus they can't do it for other religions, because the other religions have countries of their own. Hindus unfortunately don't have a country of their own. There was only one called Nepal, and that's also gone now. So essentially the Hindu corporate psychology is what I would like to emphasize and speak to you about. The forces waged against Hindus, they are very well organized, and one has to respect that in the sense that they are organized and they do their work very systematically. To convert 100 million Hindus as the religious leader Pat Robertson said in a meeting in Dallas about 2 years ago. He said that we must make it a target of 1 billion people in the world to become Christians, because Christianity is declining in Europe. Its quality of adherence in Latin America is poor. So we must get people from Asia, and 1 billion people should come from Asia. And in that, he said, 100 million should come from India, and cost should not be any criterion. And that's why today any group can just go to the internet and type and say, I want to build a church, and immediately a check will arrive. And in Andhra this is happening in a very big way, because the chief minister there, he may have his last name Reddy, but his middle name is Samuel. And he himself, when I met him, he told me that people think that because I'm a Christian, I'm anti-Hindu. So he understands that people are now becoming aware of this matter. So I would say that the Christian missionary mission is very clear, that we must convert 100 million Hindus to Christianity, and that means you cannot do it unless you first make the Hindu feel inferior, develop an inferiority complex. Then only this conversion can take place. As far as Islam is concerned, they are even clearer than Christians, because they have, it's no use quoting the Quran to me, because for everything said in one page in Quran, there is a contradiction in another page. So the Quran is not the real guide of the Islamic theology. The real guide of the Islamic theology is in Sirah and Hadith. Sirah is about the life of Muhammad, and Hadith is about his sayings. Those are the things which you have to read and find out what is in their mind. The question is, in Kashmir the Muslims are in majority, and they have driven out the Hindus. It's a country of 83% Hindus, but how is this happening? Because there, in that pocket of Kashmir, we have Muslims in majority, and they're able to drive away the Hindus and create